Welcome back to Marvel Media Podcast. I'm Blake, and I'm here with my co-hosts Josh and Alex.
And welcome to episode 14 of Gold or Full. Today we'll be naming off 5 movie endings that we would change. Reasoning, that's what we're going to go into. I have a feeling we're just going to freestyle this because me personally, I struggled with giving 5 movies that I would change the ending to. Me personally. So, yeah. Who wants to go first?
Imagine not being prepared. Alex, you should start us off.
I can start us off.
Oh,
okay. Alex,
fine.
go ahead.
I'll. You know what? Fine. Gonna straight raw dog this. Okay, so for number 5, I have Captain Marvel. The ending of Captain Marvel. I would change that. Have like the whole fight at the end of Captain Marvel kind of change a little bit. I mean, it was cool to have her kind of just punch him or photon blast him, but then like not, having him jump in the ship and fly away was a little weird. And then the thing that really like kind of didn't sit well with me is like she went to space and she flew away with the Skrulls, and I'm like, we never found out what's going on with that, or like it was just so weird. Like, okay, like I guess I needed a reason to get her off planet so that the Avengers can happen, but I don't know. I feel like there's a better way of doing that. That's just me personally. That was one of the ones that came to my head immediately. I feel like that ending was just kind of weird, so I would change that ending.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go. My 5th one, number 5, I guess I should say, is Nope, recent Jordan Peele movie. For me, this one's more about change the ending because I thought it was just extremely stupid. Little spoilers if you haven't seen it, as it is somewhat recent still. The ending with the little spaceship / alien thing, I guess, was just so stupid, and it just turned into like this weird, I don't even know, like it just unfolded, and I don't even know what to compare it to that it looked like. But I just thought it just looked really stupid. It looked like almost like a big hot air balloon, and then it had like sails on, like almost like a sailboat or something. I just thought it was really lame. I mean, I don't know, the whole battle or whatever to like get the picture of it was just stupid. You had, the director that they called in, he got killed because he wanted to get the shot, and you had the random TMZ guy who meant absolutely nothing getting killed, and of course the Jordan Peele stans will say how it all has a deeper meaning of like people were willing to die for like their big moment, blah blah. Shut the fuck up. It was stupid. So that's my reason.
Well, what would you change it to?
I would either change it to it doesn't turn into some weird fucking boat ship thing. It just stays as the shape that it is, and they either get the shot and it moves on, or it just goes crazy and like keeps killing them. But it turning into like this weird thing, and then like flying over to Jupe's thing, and her using like the wishing well camera to like get a picture of it, and like nobody seeing it, even though it was massive and in the sky, just made no sense to me. Like I don't care, they're out in the middle of nowhere. Like somebody had to have seen that, so I just thought it was stupid.
Yeah, it died from a balloon popping.
Right? Like what are we doing?
From the monkey that freaked out from the balloon popping earlier. Great connection.
Just lame.
So
just
it's
lame.
Pretty funny that you brought up a Jordan Peele film because my number 5 is another one. It's Get Out, and the way I would change this ending, which he already changed the ending for this movie right before it came out. How I would change it is I would want the main character to not actually get out. Just he fails to escape, and then he becomes either a servant there or he dies trying. Because otherwise, I don't know. I just felt like his escape was really lame. Like very lame and way too easy. Because he got out of the chair super easy. And I don't know, everything about it just made it seem like it was the family's first time doing this, even though it obviously wasn't. But the way they're acting that entire time there, for him in particular, there's just a lot of plot armor for my boy. And also, I'm an avid fan of, like, when it comes to these horror movies, allow the main character to die. they don't need to survive. They do not need to win. It helps with the suspense when more horror movies kill the main character. And it's more of a guessing game of how it ends than no, he actually just escapes and gets out, like the title. So that's what I would change. He doesn't escape.
I mean, Jordan Peele's just very anticlimactic, all of his movies.
My mind's going blank. The one that I told you, Blake, to watch, I do still like that
Us.
one. Us, yeah. I like that one. But Get Out?
Again, it was solid,
Yeah.
but again, the ending was just a little meh to me.
Nope. Both Blake and I did not like that one. So
We just wouldn't get it.
I
that about
don't
Green
get
Knight
it,
as
and I
well.
didn't watch it.
God. All right, Alex, what's your number 5?
4. Number 4.
Yeah, that's what I said.
All right, Alex, what's your number 5?
How did they get you in 4K?
Yeah, cool.
Lies.
Just double checking. So my number 4 is the ending to Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Me personally, I don't like the whole Voldemort like just fading away in ashes. I've seen this before. Apparently, that's not how he dies in the books. I remember reading them when I was very, very young, so it's been many years. So I guess he gets killed, like straight up killed, and his body is just laying there. I feel like that would have been a little
Like a
more
human,
impactful.
like to show that he's human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that for sure I would have liked that to have happened. 2, why the fuck did Harry break the wand? Like, no, dude, fucking keep it. Fucking keep it.
I agree with that.
Like,
That one
you earned it.
You're
Like
spitting
you
right
went
now.
on this whole journey through, I guess, 8 movies, and you finally get to the ultimate climax, like the point where you have to face him, you beat him, you kill him, his body's laying on the ground. You are now the owner of the most powerful wand in the universe, and you break it? Nah. Me personally, that's just not it. Now, I guess like the reason why he did it was because there's no temptation to use it or for it to fall into someone's like the wrong hands. But I don't know. I feel like Harry got to that point where in a way nobody beat Harry. I'm just saying.
I mean, Harry was overrated. Harry was not that guy.
I mean, what with the Elder One in his possession, I feel like
He still wouldn't be that guy. He was a dumbass. Hermione saved him
but he
so
has his
many
friends.
times.
Well, I think that's the best part about Harry Potter is that it's actually a trio, and Harry Potter isn't overpowered.
Right.
Right.
Which I'm just saying though, that Harry is not that guy. That even with that wand, he still could get fucked by somebody. I think.
Just saying. But yeah,
It's not that
that's
guy.
like 2 things I would change to the
That's a
ending
fair
of that
change.
movie.
That almost
Yeah.
makes it on
Facts.
my list
No,
as
that is-
well.
You were spitting.
Facts. All right, Blake, what's your 4?
All right, I can go. My number 4. My number 4 is No Country for Old Men.
No way.
I just think, okay, it was a little weird to me, right? We saw Josh Brolin, the main character, right? We see him talking, and he's like, oh, to some random lady. And then all of a sudden we cut to the next scene, he's just dead. And it was kind of like, I kind of would like to have seen, like, what transpired there a little bit. Like, that part just kind of was like, okay, like, I guess it's kind of cool. But then obviously we have, I can't even think of his name, the bad guy's name right now. But, we have him then go to,
I don't know what his last name was though.
wasn't that his name in real life? Isn't it Antonio Bardem? Plays him?
No, his real name's Javier.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
But,
thinking of Antonio Banderas.
and then at the end when he, like, bro, he's goated.
You just
Spy
mixed them
Kids.
together.
But then he, like, goes to the lady's house, and he's just, like, sitting in the house, and, like, I feel like we don't even see what happened there, right? Do we? I don't even remember.
No, they leave it up to you hear like a
Interpretation.
slight noise, and then he leaves, so you don't know fully if he did kill her or not.
Right, and then he just, like, dips, and then obviously there's the whole, like, car accident, like, gets the bandage from the kid and, like, dips. But it was just, like, I don't know. I thought it was a really good movie for the most part, but then, like, that part just kind of a little bit, like, I don't know, your conclusion to have two bigger things just be left up to interpretation or whatever you want to say just didn't sit quite right with me.
I think the reason why I laugh so much is my number 4 is the same thing for the same exact reason, and that was one of them that I didn't have to look up. That was immediately
Right.
in my mind and put on the list.
Right.
And my big thing that changed is just show Josh Brolin's character dying in that fight, and I would have liked it, because it's like, okay, it's kind of funny that you're almost kind of seeing like 3 different generations in this movie, hence the name No Country for Old Men. And then Tommy Lee's character gets there, so he gets to see the aftermath of the current generation, what they can do, and he doesn't live up to what he thinks he should be, and that's why he retires in the end. But I think losing that fact that Josh Brolin's character, of actually seeing him die in that fight, and then just kind of like skipping to it, and then like almost immediately going to the ending, it made the pacing seem weird. So I think if you just showed it,
Right.
and then kept the rest of that ending, because I actually kind of liked the fact you don't know what he did to the wife, especially if you add the
I mean, yeah,
change
I don't mind.
of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that part. You agree, yeah.
of Josh Brolin's character like dying in that fight. But yeah, I thought that was funny, that same exact reason for that one.
All right. Alex, what do you got for 3?
For my number 3, I have the extended ending to Avengers Endgame. Me personally, I was not a fan of how the ending kind of dragged on. So like at the funeral, and then you went to someone else, and then you went to someone else, and you went to someone else. I'm like, I personally, I wouldn't mind if they would have just kind of like shown us, like, say, Thor walking to the guardianship, and just have that scene pick up and start in Thor, what would be Thor Love and Thunder, and then kind of do the same thing with everyone else setting up their thing. Just kind of just one quick shot, not having a full-on conversation, like a full-on scene. I feel like that kind of dragged on. So yeah, I feel like after the funeral, having all of those scenes kind of felt a little weird. Like, obviously the Thor one felt a little like comedic, which is fine, but I feel like, again, that would have been better if you would have started that in the next movie. Just kind of had the shot of him walking to the ship, and then have it pick up in a separate movie. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that ending felt super long. It felt weird, and a lot of those scenes felt very shoehorned in there, which I feel like, again, show, not tell. Show where they're at. Don't have a full-on scene dedicated to that, especially after the heartfelt scene of the funeral. So yeah, that's one thing that I would change, among other things, but we are talking about the ending, so that is what I would change.
Alex spitting.
Understandable.
So for my number 3, I have a more recent, another recent one. I have Thor: Love and Thunder. Among other things that this movie has issues with, the kids all of a sudden getting the power of Thor and using teddy bears and wands and all this to fight these dark, whatever you want to call them, that were killing actual Asgardian like soldiers and fighters in the town, and then all of a sudden these kids just body them and don't even get touched. Obviously you have Gore getting to Eternity, which like Eternity was dope to see in like live action. Like that's a huge deal, and it was just so forgotten about because you get Gore, who's been on this quest his whole life, just to be like, never mind, fuck my quest. Obviously you have Jane using Mjolnir, which you think to destroy the Ebony Sword, and Mjolnir, which was supposed to be really powerful, didn't destroy Mjolnir. It was fine. So again, it was like that just lost some of its meaning. I will say I did like Jane passing away, that they went there. I thought that was like really important for the movie, and I felt like it definitely helped have some emotion to that scene, thankfully, because for the most part, everything else about that scene, from, like I just said, the kids to the Mjolnir just not even being destroyed, to Gore just giving up on his whole quest, just all of that just felt really flat to me. So yeah, that's why that one's
I
my
agree.
3.
Okay. All right. my third one is I Am Legend. And there's a couple things about I Am Legend's ending. Obviously, great film. Will Smith was amazing in it. But something that I didn't like was how he finds out that there's this village of people and he just doesn't really even try. And he easily could have just tried to get there, but doesn't. And then also magically Akira just appears and then everything's totally fine in the end of the film, which is kind of just cliche as can be. So for me, if I was going to change it, the title is I Am Legend. And if you're a legend, that means you're going to live on from what you did. So in my opinion, Will Smith is just a movie where this guy just goes badass in this world and just dies in the end. Just allow him to die. There doesn't need to be a good ending. They don't have to win. Just allow people to die. Let him be a legend and die with his dog, bro. And then that would have been so fucking sad. Well, yes, he dies in a really stupid way, though. Like, he easily could have just lived. And also the cure then happens anyways.
I don't even remember. Because didn't they release, like, an alternative ending, like, a little bit after, like, we could have done this? So I don't even remember which one's the alternative and which one actually happened.
Be real, that actually happens where he died.
I thought he died. Didn't he die, like, by setting off a grenade with a bunch of zombies around him?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Is that the real one, or is that the alternative one?
Yes.
It's the real one.
That's the real one.
But that's
pretty bad.
He does that. Yeah, but he does that after, like, knowing they just didn't need to do it. Like, there just wasn't a need. So, like, yes, it's cool that he just said, fuck it. Let me just blow myself up. But, like, it just didn't need. He could have died a cooler way, in my opinion. Personally. Okay. And also, they didn't need a win in the end. Just fuck the human race. So allow zombies be where they don't get a cure in the end. They just lose.
Zombies just get a lose.
So not only does Will Smith die, but
everyone dies.
The lady and the kid.
Everyone dies
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone dies.
If the dog dies, everyone dies.
Facts.
Simple as that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Well, for my number 2, I would change a lot of this movie because this movie is not particularly good, but the ending really pissed me off because it left me fucking pissed off. And you guys would know because I was there with you guys watching this movie. Halloween Kills. I would change that ending. This fucking ending sucked. Like, if you were gonna make a shitty movie and be shitty the entire way through, this is what they did. But if you would have at least tried the stupid camera angle where you're zoomed in on Michael Myers while they're beating him up, you don't see anything. You don't see nothing. It's so stupid. It's fucking dumb. Like, and then he gets up, right? They stop. Fine. Stupid, but fine. He then goes on and kills them, but you can't see any of it either. You just see him like stabbing them.
Evil dogs
in slow motion with like a telephoto camera. Like, it's super zoomed in, so you just see his fist and then presumably someone's back or whatever. Mm-hmm. Give me a wide shot. Give me him literally slaughtering these people after thinking that they really killed him. At least fucking let me see this. Right? And don't do this slow motion crap. I fucking hate it. Okay? And then he walks away. Somehow he gets back into the house. And then he kills he kills the dog.
He's just back in it.
Yep.
He's just back in the house.
I feel like that would have hit better.
There's a bunch of cops outside. Just walks in.
That would have hit better if, one, they give me the wide shot. Show me him killing them. Show me him walking all the way back. Show me how he got in. And then I'll be like, fine, cool. Like, you see him open the door, and then you cut to her, like, looking out the window, and then everything happens as it ended. I would not have been pissed off as much as I was at the end of this movie. But that ending was just...
Also, wasn't it like a really dumb reason why the daughter was in the fucking house and didn't leave the house? Wasn't it like was it her daughter like got hurt and so she was just like in the house and they stayed there chilling and that's why he was able to just easily go back and then just kill him?
I don't know, but like no.
I
She-
remember
Did he kill the daughter?
there was ambulances.
he killed
She went back
the
on.
daughter. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
she
did
went
something
back
stupid. I remember that, and I remember it being so fucking dumb.
Wait, who did he kill? Did he kill the
No.
daughter?
So,
He killed
the
Lori's
main
daughter.
chick's daughter.
Jamie Lee Curtis's
Yes,
daughter.
her daughter. Yeah, she dies.
Don't remember that at all.
Yeah, and it was the very end that she's looking out the window, and then he just stabs her
And then you cut
like
to
a
Jamie Lee
straight
Curtis,
callback.
like-
Yeah,
yeah, but like I
Good
feel
for
like
him.
fine. If you're gonna do something so ballsy, at least make the setup like good. Not this fucking
it was
zoomed in,
100%.
cut,
I mean-
super cut and edited and slow mo crap.
This is
And
the
they just
same
have him
movie
appear-
where they literally killed a mental patient. It was going after him, bro, as if that's
Fucking
Michael
made that man
Myers.
jump.
Yeah, he's literally like 6'7", and this guy's 5'11" at best. And they hunt him down. Make
Not to
him kill
mention,
himself.
that dude's built like me. The mental patient's built like me. Michael Myers is 6'7", like, not
Yeah.
jacked, but like, he's a normal looking. This is a chubby, 5'10" dude
Yeah.
who's been in a psych ward, and all these
Yeah.
people are chasing him, and he just fucking jumps off the roof
So
because he has no
dumb.
idea what's happening. Like, what?
So
Like I
dumb,
said
bro.
before I started, there's a lot of things that I would change about this movie, but it's the ending that does it for me because it's like you put me through this whole movie and you don't even finish it
So
correctly.
good.
So, that's just my
Yeah.
my
Seen the
number
third
two
one
there
there.
for you.
Thanks.
All right, so my number two, I have Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2. I won't get too much into detail. I agree with Alex with a lot of it. Obviously, I think Voldemort's death, him just like dusting basically, like this is Infinity War, was lame. And like I won't repeat too much. It's a lot of same reasons. But my thing with the Elder Wand that I just think about always, every time I've seen that scene, is Harry. They're still fixing Hogwarts, and Harry walks out front with them, snaps the Elder Wand, and then throws it over the bridge.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, dickhead, why don't you use it to help finish Hogwarts to be fixed again, and then you can break it if you want, like a
Mhm.
dumbass. But at least don't be a dick about it. I was like, why? They're literally all rebuilding right behind him, and he's just like, oh, most powerful wand. I probably could fix this real quick. All right, yeah, I'm gonna snap it, and then we'll just move on. It's like, come on. But it's a lot of reasons, like you said. I mean, destroying the Elder Wand, Voldemort, his death was lame. His whole battle with Harry, I felt, was lame for the most part. I don't know. There's just a lot of that, but I agree with you. Kind of fell flat.
Yeah,
Understandable. Well, hey, going back to about talking about a villain here, Avengers: Age of Ultron. At the end, show some snippet of Ultron surviving. Make him survive, just in some form. Like, you know, I loved the interaction with Vision and Ultron, and him saying, "Well, I was born yesterday," and then absolutely kills him. But you know, have some sliver of him to survive and just be a background character for the future. But no, he's gone forever. Somehow. No way he doesn't make any copy. Nothing. Anywhere. Nope.
rest in peace.
Gone. Somehow Nazi scientists had a better backup
Yo,
plan
it's
than
literally what I
Captain
was
America
just
Winter
thinking.
Soldier to survive than goddamn Ultron.
Makes no
Lit.
sense.
Wasn't it also directed by Joss Whedon? Age of Ultron?
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
yes.
Yep.
Just want to
You
make sure.
you could tell. You
Makes
could tell.
sense.
I mean,
Makes
there's a
sense.
reason why.
Not to
they
mention-
gave Infinity War and Endgame to the Russo brothers, not Joss Whedon anymore.
Not to mention, at one point, Scarlet Witch pulls out Ultron's heart, like mechanical parts, and I was just like, I get what you're trying to do, but like, nobody thought that was impactful. He's a fucking robot. He doesn't have a heart. What are we doing?
Yeah. He's literally making a human body, or at least a physical body. That was the whole point of the movie, is that what Ultron is right now is not anything flesh. So,
Right.
yeah.
Scene just did not mean
Also,
anything.
the movie killed Jarvis too, in general, you know, and then we got just an awful voice for the rest of
Friday.
Iron Man. So, well, I guess Friday's not too bad, I should say, but you know, not Jarvis.
Yeah,
Right, Jarvis just the OG.
Yeah, you know, so that's what I'd change.
I respect that. It's a good
Cool.
one.
Okay, I'll go with my number one. Honestly, in my opinion, this is not really a rank thing. This is kind of like me just naming them off. But this one here, Spider-Man No Way Home, I would change the whole Venom thing. Because how are you going to do Venom and have him in his own movie come to this universe and not have him show up in this one? And just have that scene play out the way it did. Me personally, kind of felt offended by it. How the fuck are you not going to have a Sinister Six right there? You could have had it, and you chose not to do it. Like, it ends with him, like, talking to somebody in Mexico, and he's going to go talk to Spider-Man. And guess what? Oh, too late, because, you know, they did the whole reverse thing, so now he's going back, but there's a little piece of Venom there. I wouldn't have minded if at the end he would have showed up, fought with them, and then have a piece of the symbiote during the fight stay. But don't do that. Like, don't tease us in a different movie that we were almost kind of forced to watch because we're like, there's hints that he was going to show up in this one. And, you know, you saw Tom Hardy with the Spider-Man No Way Home crew hat. Like, oh, okay, so obviously this movie leads into this one, which we all thought it did, especially after seeing what happens. Oh, he's now in the MCU. That's crazy. Guess what? It's a post-credit scene, and he's not even interacting with Spider-Man yet again. So, yeah. No, fuck that. I hated it. I liked seeing him there, but I would have liked to see him actually talk to Spider-Man or interact in some way, shape, or form. But
Like, you're spitting facts right now. I forgot how annoying that was for me. I completely forgot
Yes.
how
What
pissed
was
off
the
I
point?
was too. Because Venom 2
Yeah.
is
What was the
literally
point?
all that for a cameo.
Yep.
yes. Yep, because there was no redeeming qualities for Let There Be Carnage. I have came to the conclusion that that's what it was, and they didn't even pull it off. So that's a shame. But it's Sony, so what do you expect? Disappointment.
I didn't even like
I
Venom 2,
suppose.
and then that ending with that just made it zero chance I'll ever watch that movie again. So you're right
Yep.
on for that
That's
one,
valid.
Alex. That one definitely should have made it on my list.
Valid.
I'm just gonna be honest. It's a good one.
So then I'll go to my number one. I also have Avengers Endgame. For me, it's number one for a lot of reasons Alex said. It dragged on so long after Tony died. There was just so much garbage I don't care about. So many things personally I felt where I personally do not like what they did with Steve Rogers. I don't like Alex. I know how you like it. I don't know about Josh exactly, but I personally think Steve Rogers' ending was stupid. I do not like it. Just a lot of dragged down stuff that just I feel like didn't matter. Like Tony just died, one of the most impactful scenes in the MCU history. Wrap it up a little bit after that, and then have that whole like salute to the original cast. Just I don't know. I honestly wouldn't even have been mad if they killed more. Like Steve could have died in there. I think more could have died in there. But I just feel like Tony died. It was super impactful, and then it was like 15 more minutes. I feel like of just like, oh, here's what's going on with this person. Here's what's going on with this and this and this and this. It was like, bro, I don't care. Wrap it up. You went too long. So it was just upsetting. Like I said, Steve is my biggest kind of complaint I have with it. I just thought, why? What was the point of that? Just conclude his story. Conclude some other people's story too. But yeah, I feel like Endgame definitely could have had a little bit better that ending there.
I agree with that. I think one point that I felt like it was dragged on for that ending was when it was like Bruce Banner and was it Hawkeye? I can't remember.
Nope, it was Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye.
Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch and Hawkeye had like a little thing where they're looking at the water.
Wasn't Bruce mad about? Oh no, that was earlier in the thing. I'm remembering wrong.
That was
Either
when
way.
she died.
Yeah.
When
Either
Black
way.
Widow died. And
And then there's it was slightly dragged on. The more I think about it.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
It's one of those movies right after that you just turned off now when you rewatch it. It's like after the snap, after like they all like mourn for Tony, you just turned off. You're like, I don't care. There's 10 more minutes left. It's garbage.
Or just skip to the credits because the credits are so fucking cool. Like that, I do like how they did the whole.
Right, dude. That sign off, yeah, like that would have been so much more impactful if it was like pretty soon after Iron Man's death.
Yeah. And there was just a better way of doing it. Straight up, there was a better way. Like if you really wanted to show where they were gonna go, just do like a little flash. Again, you don't have to have like a full on conversation that drags on for like 3 fucking minutes. Just fucking show them, Thor going with Guardians. Okay, then you just see kind of Hawkeye going back home. Okay, cool, fine.
I don't even need to see all
Cut
that. Just like skip it. Just like get going. Like he died. They're all together. They all mourn. Boom. People are out of here. See you in a couple months for the next movie.
Fair enough.
I don't need a roadmap of what 20 people are doing. I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, my number 1 is The Rise of Skywalker. And this was the one that I immediately put down. Now, keep in mind, I don't hate this movie like so many people do. But the ending for me, I know so many people that hated Rey saying that she's a Skywalker at the end. It's not that. For me, I wish she actually would have just said she's a Palpatine, because of all the teasing of her basically being a gray Jedi, and her saying that she'd be a Palpatine would inflict more that she's accepting of who she is and that she's not completely on the light nor dark side, hence being a gray Jedi. So if she accepts that she's a Palpatine, that would work, but then she says she's a Skywalker. So the line didn't kill me, but like, wish it was Palpatine instead. But also just overall, the ending, like all the Sith being there, the audio engineering for that scene was dope as shit. And it was absolutely menacing, right? However, it didn't really make sense when it comes to the whole story of Star Wars. It's about the Force being balanced. So it's not about either side winning there. So I'd rather have had like it be kind of Ben and Rey fighting Palpatine, and Ben not really dying there at the end, and then them kind of starting this new gray Jedi age that's been teased since the prequels of, like Obi-Wan and Anakin beefing with each other and being on complete opposite sides. And then Luke literally in the sequels being the entire time saying the Jedi need to end. So that could be your ending, that they end the Jedi and start just gray Jedi and be like, yo, just be you. Don't be so absolutes on one side or the other. As well as then another thing I loved with doing that gray Jedi, not like absolutely just destroying the evil, the Sith, would be kind of like allowing like Finn, Rey and Kylo to basically like kind of start an uprise with the stormtroopers in the Resistance. So after seeing like, yo, Palpatine just tried to destroy everything with a whole new empire that's going to replace them. Well, you saw Finn rebel, so maybe then other stormtroopers rebel. So that way Finn's character actually meant something other than just being a token black guy for Star Wars movie that they would just get rid of in posters for the Chinese version.
Yep.
So I think that would have been a nice also way of ending of like, hey, he frees other stormtroopers as well. And his story somewhat meant something in the end. But yeah, that's a couple changes I think would have made the sequel movies immensely better, as well as more accepted for sure. But yeah, that was the first movie that came to my mind when we were doing this.
I messed with that. I've never thought of it that way, or I've never would have thought how would I've changed that, because I'm at that point I was just like, whatever. But that is actually a really dope idea, because there's always been in the originals, in the prequels, and now in the sequels, there was always the light side, the dark side. There was very rarely mentioned anybody that was like in the middle or a great
Mhm.
Jedi, where they can use, like techniques of the dark side and the light side, which, that's kind of what the whole thing's about, balance, right? You would think it would end the whole trilogy, like the whole saga, with there being balance finally. And they didn't do it, which, I mean, Josh, that was really good.
Well, it's just
I
so
might have to keep that
confusing.
one in my head.
It's just so confusing
Yeah,
why they
no,
didn't do
yeah.
that, because the first two films of the sequels literally it's a deep dive of the Force in the entire movie. That's why like Kylo gets his ass kicked in the first movie, why so many people were mad that like, how did Rey beat Kylo? The whole point is the Force is about balance, and it shifts its power to whoever is on the losing side in that moment. And so that's why Rey was able to beat an injured Kylo and with the Force and win with pulling the lightsaber towards her. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
weird
and then
they ended
the
how they did.
yeah, and it makes sense. Like it would have ended with them being balanced. That after all this
Yeah.
time of light versus dark, you would have had. Well, yeah, I guess there are a few gray Jedi, but it's not like a well-known thing like the light side and the dark side are. But yeah, I agree. It should have ended with it being, a new order of just balanced Force users. That would have made sense. So
Especially when they had a lightsaber blow up because the balance of the Force between Kylo and Rey, and then them having a Force connection with each other, and just there's just
the
also
potential
the whole
was
point
there,
for
but
being
the
a
execution was
Palpatine.
not.
Was the fact that like
Yes.
she gets to choose to be good or not. That's the point. I don't know why they did it. Just it could have been better. Simple as that.
Again, just reiterates we could have done better.
Exactly.
Every single
Exactly.
fucking franchise.
Once
Yes.
again. We could have changed the Harry Potter
Yes.
franchise, Star Wars franchise, Marvel franchise. I Am
And it's not
Legend
like
franchise.
we're like doing these like
Legend.
it's not like we're doing these like super like movie changing changes. It's just like the ending that would literally make like some of these movies that we've talked about are good movies and we like them,
Mhm.
but we feel like
Halloween Kills.
changing those, that's not one of them. That we just by changing that, it would have made the movie better, which in a sense it takes a shitty fucking movie, and by changing the ending, it makes it into a less shitty movie. So imagine a good movie and changing the ending that was not so good. It would have been 10 out of 10, or at least
I mean,
damn
yeah,
near
look
close
at
to it.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Amazing movie, amazing ending.
Well, also had an amazing
Rises and Dark Knight. Just, true, but I agree. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up. Like we said, these aren't fully, in order of what we think. Just some movies that we feel like we had some issues with the ending. Leave in the comments below if there's any movies that came to your mind, or if you liked any of our ideas. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow along on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Check out Apple Podcasts. Podcast version drops the same time that these go live on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next week.